Ken?
Doing good, brother. Ready to get after it with these boys. Been missing my local fights.
Yep, we're glad to have you here. So we're starting off this night. Like we say, this is an elimination Muay Thai fight. This is 3 rounds by 2 minutes. Cody, we talked about this week on the MMA Plug on the Mile High Sports Network. Anytime that we have Muay Thai in a cage, I'm in. I absolutely love this concept.
Yeah, I think you've seen, how popular it can be, especially in one. They've done a really good job of kind of cornering the market on that because there's nowhere else you really see, especially with the 4-ounce gloves. They're just doing Muay Thai with 4-ounce gloves in a cage. I feel like it might be the most exciting combat sport that there is, more than MMA, more than regular Muay Thai, more than kickboxing. It doesn't have a huge platform yet because it is pretty new, but if you watch those fights, man, it's non-stop action. It's what everyone loves about fighting.
Absolutely. And just as you mentioned there, I think that there's a lot of untapped potential as far as Muay Thai in general, whether we're just talking full big gloves within the ring to then bringing it in the cage. And I would love to see us start to be able to have those 4-ounce gloves in these high fights. We're still waiting on the go-ahead from the commissioner here, the Colorado Combative Sports Commission from Tony Cummins, but hopefully that comes in due time here. But right now in this contest, we have a slugfest going on between Tim Kelly and Aaron Kessler. We have Aaron Kessler in the electric green trunks, and you have Tim Kelly in the Bang Muay Thai signature orange and black.
Yeah, these guys are setting a crazy pace to start. It'd be interesting to see if they hold this pace throughout. It doesn't look like either guy's going to slow down yet. So,
and I had the pleasure of calling Aaron's last fight in the 5280 Thai fight ring just a few weeks ago, and this young kid has a lot of swag to him, and he's a gamer too.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be a gamer if you're taking fights. As frequently as he's taking them, you got to be confident. And you got to be a gamer. So he's proven it tonight too against a game opponent. You love when you see good matchmaking and even fights because that's when you're going to have your best performances, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Absolutely. And folks, if this is one of your first time checking in or tuning in for a Muay Thai fight, in terms of scoring, and granted, judging is always going to be somewhat subjective, but in terms of the weighted scoring criteria, you're going to see a lot more emphasis placed on some of the things in terms of the sweeps. You're going to see more weight put into the elbows, the kicks. Boxing is still going to score, but sometimes the boxing isn't going to weigh as heavily as some of those other attacks. And we're just about set to get underway with the second round. Aaron Kessler with a little bit of flurry coming right out. And folks, one thing I do want to circle back to just a little bit, I did mention, in terms of sweeps having a carry within the scoring, but that does also have to be reflective of there being some sort of visible damage coming along with that. So I just want to make that clear so we don't create any sort of confusion out there. But we have some thunderous kicks being thrown right now by Timothy Kelly.
These guys are keeping a high pace.
And a guy like Timothy Kelly, he's been around for a long time. He's had some tremendous influences throughout his career that he's trained with and under the tutelage of. You guys like Dwayne Bang Ludwig, Boss Rutan, some of the biggest names in the striking world. Teep to the body there from Kessler.
That was a great elbow. I think it hurt him there. I think that elbow definitely hurt him. And that's part of the problem. The only problem, you have two different guys. You have a height differential here, and Kessler has a tendency to stand straight up. And he got rocked there, and his defense was to kind of lean. But in the cage, there's no give on this cage. With the ropes, you might be able to lean back out of the way. With the cage, that's something you don't see. That's an adjustment he'll have to make.
Certainly, and you see right now, Kelly is starting to march down Kessler a little bit. I think he smells a little bit of blood in the water. Kessler kind of turning away. He's going to need to get him. And a big knee to the body right there scores the knockdown for Timothy Kelly. Kessler survives the round. He will make it to the third.
Yeah, he was hurt bad. That elbow is what started that whole process.
That's a very savvy veteran move, though, by Timothy Kelly right there, Cody, because a lot of times, especially in the elimination ranks, when you get somebody hurt, you'll see a lot of guys fall into the trap of just strictly headhunting, if you will. Timothy Kelly scored that knockdown with the knee to the body. A lot of times, especially with that tall fighter rocking the high guard up against the fence in this case, that body was wide open to land that knee, and that was, I mean, picture perfect right in that moment to be able to score the knockdown.
Yeah, for sure. You know, being able to slow it down, be composed. You know, we see it in the amateur ranks, but we see it in the pro ranks as well. You know, you hurt somebody, and every reaction in your body is like, let's go finish this fight. You see it in the UFC. So for him to be able to do that in the amateur ranks is huge, you know, and that will pay dividends moving forward in his career if he's able to keep that composure.
Certainly. And got a little bit of an equipment adjustment going on right now for Kessler before we start off with this third round. You know, full disclosure here, Cody, on that, that's going to benefit Kessler a little bit, right?
With the
giving him just a couple more seconds while
for sure.
they're readjusting the equipment, him being hurt at the very end of that round. That's going to give him a couple more seconds to breathe. Obviously not a long amount of time, but when we're talking just enough to be able to recover, any second is crucial, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, especially as badly hurt as he was in that second round. You know, anytime he can get is going to be good. He's still that tall chin in the air, you know, which isn't necessarily crazy. You know, it's not MMA. It's the chin in the air and standing tall. You might see it a little bit more in Muay Thai, but he's getting clipped because he's so tall.
In this round, though, too, he started off teeing off well, but Kelly is wise with the clinch in that moment. He felt the pressure, framed up, and was able to bring him in tight. Separation from Oscar Martinez. Teep to the body from Kessler lands. Leg kick almost spins Kessler around from Kelly.
Big check hook. You know, and that's the difference we talked about.
That's huge right there by Kelly.
Yeah.
I mean,
put it right on the button.
That was a beautiful combination, though, where he went high, low, then went right back.
I think this is going to be it, brother. Yeah.
And it is all over.
Yeah, he was hurt. That's a good call, especially in the amateur ranks, you know.
Third round TKO victory for Timothy One Speed Kelly. And a little bit of showmanship over there with one of his coaches out of that Bang Muay Thai corner. Hey, the thing is with Aaron Kessler, he's a young, talented kid who is going to be back. He trains with a very strong Muay Thai camp here in Colorado. Like I say, he's fought for us before on the 52-80 Thai fight scene, and we have a considerable amount of that Tankhead Muay Thai boxing crew come through that circuit with us. They are always well prepared, and you know, this kid showed that he has skills tonight. He just ran into a vet.
Yeah, and you know, that's what the amateurs are for. I feel like we say it every card, you know, you're trying to build your skills, build your skill set, build your comfortability in the cage. You know, he was able to do that. He got 3 rounds. It was good. He won the first round, in my opinion. And good on Kelly to be able to come back and really do a lot of damage in those last 2 rounds.
Certainly, and that has to be a feel-good moment for Timothy Kelly, because the last time that we saw him here, he wasn't on the better side of that contest. So that has to be huge, right? Cody, what is that feeling like when, after you're trying to bounce back off of a loss and then you get that hand raised in that next contest? What is the elation? What is that feeling? You know, is there a weight that's lifted off of your shoulders?
For a little bit. The weight's lifted off for about 3 hours, and then you're like, oh, I got to do this again. But it does feel good, I'll tell you. Going home with the ugly W is way better than going home with the most beautiful loss you've ever had. So.
Certainly. That moves his Muay Thai record now to 3-0.
Put your hands together for these 2 top boys right here, man. That's how you open up the card. Your referee, Oscar Martinez, steps in 1 minute and 14 seconds of the 3rd round. Declaring your winner by 2KO Kelly!
And congratulations to Timothy Kelly from Bang Muay Thai.